You get a notification from someone that makes you immediately think, oh here we go, not this crap again, who is it? What are they likely saying? This girl from my friend group that I kept talking to after her BF, my friend, broke up with her. They are likely saying hi or hey. If I respond, she'll ask how I'm doing. If I respond to that, she'll say oh I see. I never do anything. If I respond to that, she'll start talking about how she hopes my friend breaks up with his current GF for her. It's been years and it's always the same pattern. The girl in our friend group who wants the spotlight on her more than a caked up movie star. Seriously, we're just in the group chat talking about birds and she hits us with stop talking about birds and listen to my depression. Get a therapist. Becky. Oh no, that's okay, I'm too fricked up for any therapist to understand me. Then how do you expect us to? Well, there's a lot of different types of beaks on birds that came to the attention of humanity during Darwin's visit to the Galapagos Islands. Some beaks were optimized to break nuts, while some would be longer in order to reach for fruits. We were simply discussing the possibility that maybe the talons could be different for some of the same reason. Would a bird with bigger talons be more adept to carrying food long distances for itself, or to nurture its young? Or would those very talons weigh it down enough that they would simply be hassled? From there, the debate about camouflage feathers came up. Should a bird suffer from the heavy talons? It could be easily counted by a feather color that's adapted to the environment, essentially disguising it from view. Now, you've likely never seen a group of military green birds flying around, because they've simply never developed the need to evolve such colors, given their wings. But in our alternate universe with bigger taloned birds, there just might be, if early enough. Would depiction of birds in holy scriptures and mythology be different? An angel's wings could only have been theorized by people seeing those of birds, and given these new tetrapods, would an angel's be altered? Our view on reality is only as specific as our upbringing makes it out to be. And with a whole different lot of birds crapping on our cars, I think we'd all be a lot different. Also frick pigeons. Time for a new group chat -1 member. From girl I was not actually friends with ever but happened to be FB friends with. Hey hun, are you ready to change your life? I'm in love with this. Skincare routine, ugly butt leggings, saran wrap for your gut, candles that smell like crap, lobotomy just like mine. Let me show you. Over the top MLM promises. Nah girl, I'm good, but good luck with your business. My wife and I call it pimp your friends. Whenever I wake up and see no less than 20 texts in the group chat of my mom, brother, 3 sisters and I'm instantly preparing for drama, and 8 times out of 10 I'm right. It's also funny how 2 sisters will be flaming each other while my mom tells them to stop, and one sister will say, and frick you too Rick. Rick, my brother will instantly respond, TF did I do, you were arguing with Valerie over hairspray. Rick seems to be a nice guy. Rick never does no harm, and yet is always accused. I've been getting wrong number texts from this guy going on close to 10 years now. I keep trying to block him but he always changes his number. He thinks I'm his ex-GF and will always say he misses me, or will say passive aggressive stuff about how I don't care about him anymore. Every time I tell him he has the wrong number and he doesn't believe me, and when he finally does, he apologizes and stops. But then months or even years later the same guy will message again thinking I'm his ex. A woman who is my age but has taken a liking to my mom. They live in another province, and I don't know her that well. Every so often she messages me about some perceived crisis to do with my mom's health. My mom is a recent cancer survivor and is still getting her strength back. How worried she is, and how something needs to be done. I have told her, if something was wrong with my mom, she would have told me. If not, this is not how I'd prefer to find out. She will go on about her recent health issues, to which I am sympathetic and I listen. But when I start talking about my health, she responds with yeah, and then is gone. What a lovely woman. An old college friend of mine who ended up being a scam artist. He contacts me every once in a while trying to sell me on his new business venture, which I usually ignore. The last time I saw him was because a mutual friend was visiting from out of town, and all he did was rattle off his latest and greatest ways he was going to be rich soon. Shortly after that, he texted me that he had to leave the country to let things cool down for a while. I didn't even want to know. Being called an artist in any field, including the scam related ones, implies competence. Maybe people like your friend should be referred to as a scam N00B. One of my ex-friend's mother. I had a falling out with a group of friends a couple months ago. One of those friends has an alcoholic mother. When we first started fighting and I cut off my ties to the group, her mom would get drunk and FaceTime and call me over and over again every single night for like a month to tell me what a piece of crap I was and how I ruined her family by not being friends with her b of a daughter. Yes, I did block her number and her FaceTime email, but she would always find a way to call me. She would make fake numbers or steal her husband's phone just to call me. It was heck. Eventually one day I called her and told her that if she called me one more time I was going to call the police and file a restraining order. I wasn't kidding. And that shut her up really quick. Fast forward 5 months and I haven't heard a word from her or her family. Dude, that's straight cocoa bananas. Sees incoming call from number with same area code and first 3 digits of my phone number. Oh boy, another scammer calling. Seriously, I get at least a few of these a week and they are annoying as heck. Especially at a time where I am actually waiting for an important call and see one of those numbers pop up. I get these calls daily. Half the time they don't leave a message and the other half it's some robot with broken English pretending to be the IRS. I quit Facebook for a bunch of reasons, but mostly my uncle. He's a nutjob conspiracy nut who would forward me crazy crap or post it on my wall or add me to groups, or his crazy friends would try to friend me. Anytime I saw his name attached to something it was brutal. That would be my friend crying over once again learning that his crush at work is straight. I swear, the guy crushes on every new guy they bring on. My mom, asking when I'm going to start popping out her grandchildren. No thanks mom. I want to live life a little first. I'm still young. Give it another 10 years. A wrong number text from someone who calls me Beth. I don't care that your singing lessons got changed. For the 6th time, I'm not Beth. And I don't care if you have the funeral potatoes. One of my cousins taught my grandma how to use WhatsApp. Add to that the 12-hour time difference between us and you get the idea. Most of my friends live on the other side of the world. Turn message sound notifications off for WhatsApp and Messenger. If there's an emergency they'll ring. My dad, texting me to ask what I'm doing and where I am. I'm at work dad. During the hours I always work. 5 days of the week. A relative of my best friend. She is a drama W. Also has her medical degree from Dr. Google. In the almost 20 years I have known her, she has blamed whatever dang fad for what is wrong with her psycho children. I am not a medical professional, but I think mom is the friggin' thing wrong with her kids, and with herself. Always on the verge of eviction, yet will throw out hundreds of dollars of food if some new age blog says it is what is causing issues. Always has new clothes, new phone, new anything. Even she, herself, has invisible illnesses that magically match her sister's when she saw the care and concern her sister receives. When the relative that is my best friend was diagnosed with a serious health issue, she magically had worse. When she picked my brain trying to find out what my life is like, a whole different set of medical issues, I point blank lied to her just to see if she would develop my disease a few weeks later. She did. She believes that vaccines cause autism, ADD, and ADHD. She uses her children's issues as excuses for them being some of the most vile, unsocialized, enabled, entitled, foul brats I have ever met. 2 of the 4 aren't even allowed ever in my house. I told her I would call the cops if she dared try to bring them here. So she pawns them off on family, including her disabled mother. Claims SSI on 3 of them, but doesn't give her mom jack crap to help care for her brats. Every time I see a message pop up, it's like brace yourself, psycho is coming. I've always wondered if she has Munchausen, or even Munchausen by proxy, because I seriously don't think any real doctor has ever diagnosed her or her kids. It's all in her head, Google, and WebMD. That'd be my ex threatening to kill herself if I don't get back together with her. I literally just got a message from her on FB after a month of radio silence. Or, I had an ex who kept threatening to top himself. It sucks. Might not be relevant to your situation, but when mine went past threats and told me he'd taken a bunch of pills, expecting me to rush round. I just called his mum and for an ambulance. He was mad and embarrassed and never tried it again. Okay, so about 2 months ago I had a temp contract filling in for this guy. He had 3 weeks to train me and he'd be gone for about a week after that. This dude is creepy, but in that weird way that isn't overt. That might be excused because he's 62 and of a different generation. The first weird thing was when he invited himself over to my house and wanted to go get lunch. Each time I'd always get my husband to come with. I just feel more comfortable. But this dude has my email and phone number for checking in while he was gone, and whenever I see a missed call or email from this guy, I know he's gonna want to go get a drink and catch up. I feel bad. He's probably just lonely, but I don't want to hang out with someone older than my parents. If you're not comfortable, then that's that. Just try to keep it as strictly professional as possible. It's not your responsibility to fill the void this person has. While it may sound heartless, it's important to make sure you're safe and comfortable. My aunt keeps spreading hoaxes and urban legends on the family WhatsApp group. I used to post Snopes links which debunk them, but I've given up. I just mute the notifications now. Props for moving your family off of group texts. I like to keep texts as actionable messaging instead of idle chat. You did it. I get a PM on Reddit. It's a male redditor. They're either trying to chat me up or calling me a B or a W for something I said on Reddit. Often, this role is filled by my mother. In these messages she will accuse any of our family of ruining her life, or betraying her, or some other such nonsense. Sometimes the attacks will be leveled at me. Basically no one is safe. You see, she suffers from bipolar disorder, as well as a mid-scale TB. She was prescribed Xanax to treat her anxiety, but she uses it to treat her waking life. She has all but given up trying to get better, and it is taking an awful toll on my siblings. Wish I could say things will get better, but she refuses, even when she is all there, to do what is necessary to save herself. Why, you ask? Pride. She won't do it because damn it, she is an adult and can take care of herself. My mother. She is calling to borrow money, complains she can't make her mortgage payment, and can't see me because she has to go play bingo at the casino. Ex-roommate that still owes me a few grand in rent, over a decade ago, still emails me at 3 AM with obscure computer problems expecting me to call her and give a dang. Oh, that's a bummer. Once you get me the money you owe me plus interest, I'll be able to feign some concern. A guy that wants to rope me back into having sex with him. He's probably asking me to come do homework or have dinner with him in his apartment again, until eventually we end up in his bed. Going through the same thing with an ex who recently popped back up. He always wants me to come hang out and watch movies, but I know what he really means. I tried to use my pregnancy as a deterrent and all he said is that pregnant chicks are hot. Sigh. Some annoying chick named Sally Mae, begging me to call her. Huh, she's been hounding me for years. I guess we hooked up in college or something. I honestly don't remember. Selling Urban or Unique or some kind of thing that stay-at-home mothers always sell. No, I do not want to buy your crap, and please stop adding me to your dang Facebook groups. My long-distance ex-boyfriend, who made up every excuse in the book to not come and visit me but constantly told me how much he misses me, telling me that he misses me. My classmate, asking me if I can look over his crappy code and figure out why it doesn't work. I'm not the best programmer in the world either, but at least I know how to Google most of my problems before throwing in the towel. Doing a project with him was a bad idea because I don't want to give him any responsibilities. You got that one friend who's just a bit full of himself? Always have that holier than thou attitude? Like, you love them, but they are just always an expert on whatever's being discussed with a bit of a superiority complex? My friend group has a friend like that, and whenever he acts like that there's a collective eye roll we have to do. I think this is every friend group, lol. I happen to have 2 of them. We actually have a messenger group where we discuss it because we're a bunch of buttholes. When I was younger, I befriended a kid who got made fun of more than me. Joe. Joe was a very odd kid. He always hugged girls even though it was pretty uncomfortable for everyone. I had that little twitch in my head that immediately told me that people were forcing themselves to hug because of pity. You know, pity hugs. It turns out Joe was special in his own way. Founded this out later. But still I wanted to be friends with the guy because I feel people were being rough on him, making fun of him and calling him retarded, and all kinds of stupid crap. But alas, my friendship with Joe immediately got me wary from my own point of view. 1. Whenever he posts now that we're out of high school, he literally says, "Why aren't girls coming to me? I'm nice." Or "I'm so alone." He's basically an incel in training and it's so gross and disgusting whenever I see it. You're not entitled to no one and yeah you'll be alone, but it's better than being a major creep to girls. So whenever I see him popping up it's either gaming stuff or bitching on how he doesn't have a girlfriend. Either way, it's not fun anymore. It makes me really want to block him, but I'm afraid if I don't step in and help this guy he might do something stupid. I honestly should just let dwarnism take effect, but if I learned anything in my years of helping people or at least giving out advice, if you didn't stop the situation from occurring, or at least stepped in, then you're a part of the problem, and I don't want that blame. So Joe, if you're reading this, I ain't giving up on you. Yeah, but you aren't responsible for someone else's problems in life. That sounds harsh, but you can't be held accountable for someone's actions that they chose to do. To carry the weight of someone else's issues can be astoundingly harmful to your well-being. There's a few possibilities. Morbidly obese brother of a good friend, very probably too disabled to work and in denial about it. Finances imploding, and he'll be asking me for recommendations on a $3,000 computer. Then ignore me for whatever his friends recommend because I keep pushing him to think about his financial situation. A certain individual that fleeced me of a large amount of valuable video game stuff wants to talk me into being friends again so he can steal more crap. Dad just wants to know how my life is going. I sure as heck don't want to tell him anything. 2. Yeah, let's catch up. I'll come over to yours to pick up the video game stuff you borrowed. This woman who wants to be friends with me messages me once in a while to tell me some heart-wrenching story about how someone is doing her kids wrong, and she wants me to take care of it. Leave me alone. A friend of mine, she began dating a guy about a year or so ago, who was going through a divorce. Ex-wife is psycho crazy and vindictive as all heck, and likes using the kid as a pawn. The kid has some problems too and desperately needs help of the therapy variety, and there's a huge amount of back and forth with both that and the custody because the boyfriend is too lazy to do crap about any of it because he doesn't want to hurt the ex. So pretty much every time my friend messages me, it's something new about all that drama and I'm so sick and tired of it. But she's so crazy dependent on the guy that she has no intention of getting out of it anytime soon. My grandmother wanting the latest gossip about other family members, so she talk about everybody. I don't tell her anything about anybody else, just about things I'm comfortable with everybody knowing about me. A girl who is the epitome of zero self-awareness. She'd absolutely be saying something about someone else in a mocking way, or complain to me because she's doing that exact thing she'd mock, but it obviously blows up in her face, and she'll try to get me involved. Please can I join the group again? I miss everyone so much. Yeah, no B. You can't use us like your personal entourage and expect us to be okay with you flaking out the second we stop kissing your butt. We gave you so many chances, so many shoulders to cry on, all the love and understanding in the world, but you didn't want friends. You wanted fans. Frick you. I might have forgiven all of that too, if you hadn't told me that we were never friends in the first place. That we never did anything for you. Frick you, you spoiled butt princess. I don't miss you one bit. This dude I went to school with when I was 10. Let's call him Jimothy. We reconnected again once we graduated from high school through mutual friends on Facebook. It started out okay, until he mentioned his girlfriend. Now, I'm not one to care about people's relationships, but whatever. It's something to talk about. And then things get kind of weird. He started talking about how he's kind of doubting his girlfriend's feelings for him and that crap, and I was like, Zuko voice, that's rough, buddy. And then good old Jimothy goes, you know, tuna empanada, I bet you'd be a fantastic girlfriend. 3 is less than 3 inches. And that was just the beginning. He was always implying that we should meet up at a cafe somewhere. I always declined because frick that. Started dumping his relationship problems on me, complimenting me in ways that made me hella uncomfortable. And when I asked him point blank what the frick did he want, He said, "Oh, am I making you uncomfortable? I'm sorry. I just think you're really cool and I really want you as my friend." I was like, "Okay fine, but you really gotta stop with those creepy compliments about how I'd probably be an awesome girlfriend. Frick you." So he starts messaging me again, peppering his messages with heart and kiss emojis, and I'm honestly pee as all heck at this point and tell him to leave me the frick alone. He does, but guess what else he does? He messages one of my closest friends and asks about me. My friend tells me about this and was like, "God, do you just wanna say we're lesbians and in a relationship with each other?" I came very close to saying yes. Now, my friend is more straightforward than I am. Thank frick. So she tells him that he needs to frick off with his balls and leave me alone. He still occasionally messages me, but I keep ignoring him. I want to block him too, but I'm scared it'd set off this massive shitstorm and that he'll end up bothering all my friends to try to get to me. Ugh. He seems like a nice guy though, and he probably won't do that, but like, what if he does? Seems like a nice guy. Creepy, obsessive behavior, and sounds like a stalker. I don't think you understand what a nice guy is. Leave me alone. Sterling Management. I know you are Scientologists and I know you like to prey on veterinarians. Save your Scientology postcards and your Scientology emails and leave me alone. Got another one today. A random guy on Facebook with whom I have 3 mutual friends. Every single time he messages me and asks me what I'm doing, I respond with something like making dinner or getting ready for bed. He'll answer something along the lines of "it's not nighttime." Every single time. And every single time I have to explain that I moved countries and live in a different time zone and I'm about 16 hours ahead of him. My grandmother-in-law. It is always a message that should be directed to my husband. Pretty simple things like how he's doing, what his work schedule looks like this week, questions about holidays, etc. Obviously I can answer some of these, but it's the added fact that she never wants to speak to me. I don't know if she has ever asked how I'm doing. My father. It's either 4 of these. Begging me for money and then disappear. Bitching about immigrants. I'm not racist, but yes you are freaking see. Bitching about my mom. His ex. They have been separated for 20 years. Get over it. Or his mom. Or his other ex. Or the people who let him live on their property. Or his boss. Or whoever he has befriended in the last couple months. Berating me and trying to put me down. Verbal abuse is a real thing. Y0. I blocked him 2 years ago and I have never felt more alive and happy. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video.